Hello and good morning from Universal Orlando. I am finally back at a theme park, and it's been an entire month since I've been here to actually go to the theme parks, so I am beyond excited to go to both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. I'm actually breakfast over at Islands at the 3 Broomsticks. I don't really have much of a plan today, but I am just so excited and happy to be back. It doesn't seem as busy as it's been recently, but it's 9 o'clock in the morning, so the park just opened. Alright, so I've made it through the temperature check and the security bag checkpoints, and I've arrived at City Walk. It's a little bit less busy over here than it was over by security, which is awesome. And I've pulled up the breakfast menu for the 3 Broomsticks. The last time I was here, breakfast was not being served at 3 Broomsticks, and this time it is being served. It's around 9:30, so it took around half an hour to park in the parking garage, make it through the various checkpoints that I had to get through to get to City Walk, and I'm trying to decide what I want. They serve breakfast for about another hour, so I pretty much have to put in my order and then get to the restaurant because they stop serving at exactly 10:30, and I've found out the hard way that even if you do have an order, they won't serve you breakfast if it's after 10:30, so I have to decide what I want, and they have quite a lot. Okay, so I've made it over to Islands of Adventure, and I think I've decided what I want to get for breakfast. If you can see it, it's called the Traditional English Breakfast, which comes with fresh scrambled eggs, sausage links, black pudding, English bacon, baked beans, grilled tomato, sauteed mushrooms, and breakfast potatoes. And then it comes with a drink here, so I can get myself a hot butterbeer if I wanted to, pumpkin juice, frozen butterbeer, a regular butterbeer. I think I'm gonna get a hot butterbeer. That sounds kind of nice. It looks like all of the turnstiles are open this morning to get into Islands of Adventure. I think I'm heading directly back to the 3 Broomsticks just to make sure I can put in my mobile order as quickly as possible and get my breakfast that I've never had before. I also decided to change my order to pumpkin juice in lieu of hot butterbeer because I have not had pumpkin juice in kind of a while. So it was honestly a very pleasant surprise for the 3 Broomsticks to be open for breakfast. I was going to come to Green Eggs and Ham for some breakfast. It's not really a breakfast dish, but they have eggs and ham, so that was kind of a breakfast dish for me, but 3 Broomsticks is definitely a little bit better of an alternative option, so I'm excited to go ahead and head over there and have it. I don't really know when to put in my mobile order. That's always kind of the trick with this. Do you put it in well in advance so that it's ready by the time you get there? Or, I mean, technically you're supposed to put it in when you're there. I don't even know. Okay, so technically it says, check in with a team member at the restaurant and your party will be seated at the first available table. Once seated, tap prepare my order below. So I guess I'll go and do that. Also, I just saw Velocicoaster testing and I have not seen it. I've only seen it testing once, but I haven't seen it this early in the morning, so this is cool. Maybe I can sit behind 3 Broomsticks and see it tested from over there. I don't really know. They used to close down that part when they were testing, but I guess I'll find out. There it is. And there are people on that yet again. Okay, that's cool. So this was announced to be opening June 10th, which is awesome. That's only a couple months away. Man, that's gonna be cool. So there is a bypass bridge that connects the Lost Continent with Jurassic Park, and I'm a little bit curious as to if it's open or if it's accessible, if it's always gonna be open, because you get to walk right underneath the Velocicoaster, so that'll be kind of right over here around the corner. And it looks like it is not currently open. They usually only open it if it's a little bit busier in the park, so I understand why it's not open, but maybe at some point I'll get to walk underneath the Velocicoaster. That was probably pretty cool to see. All right, I've made it to Hogsmeade. Now to head inside over to the 3 Broomsticks and hopefully grab a table and have my order prepared for my traditional English breakfast. All right, I'm inside the 3 Broomsticks waiting to be seated, so I guess I don't really have much of a choice of where to be sat, but I'll be happy with wherever I am because this breakfast sounds really, really good. So this is pretty interesting. This is the line where you would normally order food for the 3 Broomsticks, and I'm just right up against the window here with the different displays of options that they have for food, and this is just where my makeshift pop-up table is. So I went ahead and I hit prepare my order, then it had me put in my table number right there. So I'm just awaiting my breakfast here. This is definitely very, very interesting, just kind of where this table is, but it's different, so I'm happy about it. Alright, so the food has arrived. This is my pumpkin juice right here, and then these are my scrambled eggs, my sausage links, I'm assuming that's the black pudding, then English bacon right here, baked beans, then the grilled tomato, the sauteed mushrooms are right there, and the breakfast potatoes, as well as a croissant. So that's awesome. This is going to be great. And it's after 10:30, barely after 10:30. So they're about to transition to this menu right here. There's conveniently the window right next to me. Okay, so this is where I just ate, right over there against the window. And like I said, this is usually part of the line that you go into to order, kind of like right over here. So that was a very, very unique eating experience at the Three Broomsticks that I'll probably never have again. Okay, so I popped outside of the Three Broomsticks on the back patio here just to get another look at the Velocicoaster. I don't know if they're testing right now, but this is the bridge that would kind of bypass from the Lost Continent over towards Jurassic Park. You can see the entrance right there for Velocicoaster. So that is pretty cool. I would love to see this testing, especially this close. That would be really, really cool. So I don't think that it's going to test while I'm hanging out behind the Three Broomsticks. I'm going to wait for a little bit longer. So while I wait, the traditional English breakfast was awesome. It was very, very different than what I'm used to. I could have done without the mushrooms. The black pudding, if you are from England, black pudding, what is that and why did it taste like a petrified dinosaur turd? Alright, so I waited a little bit and it did not start testing. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on through Hogsmeade, I suppose, and see if I can catch it testing at some point, maybe a little bit later. The main thoroughfare of Hogsmeade's looking a little bit busy, but definitely not as busy as it's been relatively recently. I have not gone Forbidden Journey in kind of a while, but I think I'm going to wait for Brennan to do that again. Hopefully at some point very, very soon in the future. Once the park starts to just kind of relax a little bit more. So I am curious if they're going to keep that bridge open once Velocicoaster opens, because it leads directly to the entrance of Velocicoaster. There's another entrance. I think the main entrance is going to be over here in Jurassic Park. But it'd be cool to just have that as an alternative entrance because of just how consistently congested Hogsmeade is. This is pretty interesting. They've moved the Jurassic Park Jeep that was down here and they've put up these plant barricades. You used to be able to go a little bit further, but it looks like they are preparing for their opening in less than a couple months. This is right next to the Jurassic Park Discovery Center right there, and this is what is probably going to be the main entrance because the Velocicoaster sign is right there. Speaking of the Jurassic Park Discovery Center, I wanted to come inside. I still have not been able to go down to the bottom floor in kind of a while. I'm pretty positive that you can kind of see it way back there. They've put up and installed lockers for Velocicoaster, so that's where you're going to be utilizing the lockers. Isn't that cool? That's the Discovery Center right over there, and this is all of Velocicoaster, and this is pretty cool. Pizza Predatoria is open. I have not seen it open in a very, very long time. Velocicoaster's been a little bit quiet since it was testing about an hour and a half ago. There's a sign on here saying coming summer 2021. Which is June 10th. Which is kind of funny because that's pretty much around when Hagrid's opened a couple of years ago. So I guess they like their June openings for their Intamin roller coasters. So I still want to head over to Universal Studios. I've been very, very slowly progressing around islands, but I'm just taking it all in. I haven't been here in a long time, so I'm just really enjoying the atmosphere. Camp Jurassic is looking significantly different. I think it's because they cleaned up and removed a lot of the foliage over here, because you used to not be able to see so clearly into Camp Jurassic, and I definitely miss the foliage, but this is a very beautiful reveal of this area, which I miss so much. I wish this area would reopen. I wish you were at least able to kind of explore a little bit inside, but they're still stopping you pretty much right here because this area is only for Pteranodon flyers, which I understand, but I sincerely miss exploring this area. Okay, so I'm on the other side of the bridge from Camp Jurassic. This is kind of where, on the other side of this, that's where the splashdown for River Adventure is. And I totally noticed something, and I wanted to back up a little bit to kind of show the reveal a little bit easier. It's kind of hard to see right now because they have walls up right here, but right behind those walls, they have erected the Tyrannosaurus Rex photo opportunity. Used to be kind of way back there. Now he's right over here next to Thunder Falls. Or I guess this is where she is technically, right? Because all of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are technically female. I think that's how that works. But yeah, this is right over by the splashdown for River Adventure. That is really, really cool that they put that there. The guy just walked by me and made a fart sound. I heard that. I'm continuing my adventure around Islands of Adventure right now, and then over to Universal. Hooray! I think the last time I was here, they were still doing the refurbishment for Popeye and Bluto's. Not Popeye and Bluto's. This is W. Rice Ripsaw Falls. But I think that they were doing the refurbishment for this And it looks like that is concluded, so I think that all of the water rides are currently open now, I'm pretty sure. Yes, so it looks like all of the water rides are open, which you'd hope they would be, considering it's been spring break and it's about to be summer, so it's going to get pretty busy here in the park, and you definitely want to have the water rides running. I'm still upset because when I was here with my family, Dennis rode this, and I didn't even know that he hopped on it, and he rode it by himself. I didn't even get to film him. I would have ridden with him, I would have filmed him, but I didn't know. We just kind of did it. I guess sometimes you're allowed to have fun in a theme park without documenting it for the camera. Imagine that. Okay, I've almost made it out of Islands of Adventure. I don't know if I'm going to ride any rides over here quite yet today. Today was more about just being here and just being able to walk around, but I do definitely want to ride some rides. I know I say this every time I walk through Toon Lagoon, but one of these days I want to come back and just really experience the land, just walking around, just taking in all of the references, because I did read the Sunday Funnies. It was something that my grandfather gave to me every single week. He would always give me the Sunday Funnies, and I read them all. And so this area just kind of, I don't know, it's very nostalgic for me. I'm sure it's more so for more people, but I feel like this area is not going to be around for much longer, because who knows who any of these characters are nowadays. You know, the same goes for Marvel Superhero Island. Not that I really ever read the comics when I was younger, or ever. I've never really read the comics, but this would be a fun area to walk around and explore all of the minute details of as well. Okay, so I'm heading over to Universal Studios. I did check to make sure that they are not at capacity, which they have not hit capacity today, so that is good. I don't think I'm going to be partaking in Mardi Gras over there, because I want to come back with Brendan to do that in the future a little bit, because we're going to extend Mardi Gras. I checked to see if they were testing the Velocicoaster over there, and they haven't done it since I saw it this morning, so at least I get to see a tiny little bit of it. But oh well, I'm gonna see it probably plenty of times over the next couple months as they kind of get ready for opening on June 10th, which is still just, I don't know if I'm surprised by it or excited by it or a little bit of both, but it's getting here pretty quickly. Okay, and I've exited Islands of Adventure, and honestly, it's a lot quieter than I thought it would be. I'm very pleasantly surprised, honestly, but I thought it'd be a little bit more intense. I guess the spring break crowds are starting to dissipate a little bit, so that's good. This is pretty cool right over here on the oars that are outside of Islands of Adventure, letting you know how tall you need to be to ride the various rides and attractions. They've added the Velocicoaster right here, so that's pretty neat. Doesn't exactly say the particular heights that correlate with the various heights in terms of inches, but okay, that's not as tall as the Hulk and Dr. Doom's Fearfall. It's right underneath those. And a couple minutes later, I've made it to Universal. I'm a little bit out of breath because I have not walked around a theme park in a while, so I need to keep doing this so I can stay acclimated. So Mardi Gras has been extended until May 2nd, so it's still going to be going on for a few more weeks, so there's still plenty of time to come and experience it unless it gets extended again. But I still want to do the crew crawl. We can still do that with our friends Max and Naomi, although we all have different schedules now, so we'll see if that ends up working out. But hopefully we can come back at least one or two more times for some food and drinks. Okay, I made it inside Universal Studios. I think I'm gonna head over here through Hollywood Boulevard, because I generally go this way. Wow, that looks like the extended queue for Shrek right over there, so that's interesting. So they used one of the theaters for Shrek. Shrek has 2 theaters, and they used one of them for Halloween Horror Nights, which was announced to be coming back. I wonder if they took the house down from that theater, or if they're just keeping it up until next year. This is the first time I've seen performers on this float. Usually this one's been just a photo opportunity, I'm pretty sure, and the other floats have had performers on them throwing out beads, but they're throwing out beads from the gator float. So we'll see what the wait time looks like for rides like Men in Black or Revenge of the Mummy. I really would like to ride some sort of a ride while I'm here today, but it's kind of contingent on the wait time, and if it's a reasonable wait. Right now the All-Star Shrek soundtrack is playing in Central Park. That makes it sound like I do not have the patience, by the way, to wait in a line for a ride at the theme park, which is not true. I just have plans for activities later on tonight, and I just want to make sure that I do time management well. So similarly to Toon Lagoon over in Islands of Adventure, back over here, Kid Zone, I don't really know how a lot of people resonate with these characters either, with the exception of Woody Woodpecker. I think it's pretty timeless, but Fievel and Curious George, There's really only one ride open in actual Kid Zone, which is Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster. Technically, E.T. is also in Kid Zone, but I kind of, in my own mind, kind of make that as one separate entity other than Kid Zone. So we'll see how long Kid Zone lasts too, but I'm almost halfway around Universal now. So I'm here on a weekday, and King and Toto's Swirl and Hurl is currently running. So I guess it's running every day again, because it was just on the weekends. I guess it's just kind of contingent on the crowd levels, but I'm heading through the Simpsons area right now, which honestly is probably one of the busier pinch points in the park that I've seen so far. Okay, so Men in Black is currently a 40-minute wait, which is a little bit longer than I was hoping to wait, so I'll just do this next time, maybe with Brennan, because we haven't ridden some rides together in a little bit, so that'd be kind of a fun experience to have to come back for Mardi Gras and maybe hop on a couple rides. Alright, so I made it over to London, which I definitely haven't really explored over here in kind of a little bits, because I'm pretty sure with my family we just hopped on the Hogwarts Express and took it over to Hogsmeade, so we didn't even really go inside and explore. Okay, so I came into Diagon Alley from around the corner. There's an extended queue right here. It seems like everyone's getting ready for the dragon to breathe fire, because she is making her noises, so it's probably going to happen here in just a couple seconds. It looks like Diagon Alley is one of the busier areas in the park. Without a doubt, this seems like the extended queue for all the vendors, it looks like. So that's interesting. It is definitely more quiet back over here by the Hopping Pots and the Celestina Warbeck stage. There's also some markings right here, so I don't know if this is for Ollivanders or not. There are a lot of ground markings all over the place. Yeah, so this looks like the outdoor queue for Ollivanders, so I wonder what everybody was waiting for on the other side of Ollivanders. Okay, you know what, this is for the show, and then that line is for the merchandise. So if you just want to buy a wand, that's the line for the shop, and this is going to be the line for the interactive show. Gringotts right now is a 55-minute wait, which is probably not as bad as it has been. This is the Leaky Cauldron, which right now is serving lunch, but I've had breakfast here too, so I've now had breakfast at all of the various Harry Potter locations, which is quite a privilege, honestly. Okay, I am heading out of Diagon Alley, and I think just heading towards the exit, because I've been here for about 4 hours now, but I've loved every minute of it. Passing by the exit for Fast and Furious Supercharged, and right over there you can kind of see that Bruce the Shark is gone. He's been gone for quite a while, actually, so I'm hoping they bring him back pretty soon, because that was a pretty iconic photo opportunity here at Universal. Okay, so I'm gonna head through New York, I suppose, just kind of right down this street on my way out of the park. There's Transformers right down there, which I haven't done that in a little bit too. Man, it's so nice to come back after a little while, and I know that a month is really not that long of time, but just kind of that refreshing experience just to walk around and be in this atmosphere. It's rejuvenating. They do have the stanchions up for Revenge of the Mummy, so it looks like they're at least anticipating a busy day today, but it's not being utilized right now, at least. We also need to come back and go to the tribute store again, because presumably after Mardi Gras, there won't be a tribute store here for several months until Halloween Horror Nights comes around again. Okay, but here I go heading towards the front of the park to head on out. This was a great trip to Islands and Universal Studios. I had a great time. I didn't really do much, but I had a good time. So I was walking past the float back there. I got myself some beads, and then I also wanted to check out the wait time for Shrek, since I saw the extended queue earlier. It is an 80-minute wait for Shrek 40. Alright, I am outside the park underneath the Universal Globe, so that concludes my trip to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios today, having breakfast at the Three Broomsticks, something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, getting to see the Velocicoaster test again, which was pretty cool, just being back at Islands and at Universal. Nothing really spectacularly new at Universal in particular, but we'll be back for Mardi Gras and to do some more rides in the future. Without a doubt, it just got a little bit hot today, but summer is approaching, so that's something to be excited about for the most part, I think. Okay, I'm gonna go and head back on home. I will see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and goodbye.